Welcome to Bedtime Blocks, Minecraft Cabin Confessions. Tonight's story? I tried to summon Herobrine. It worked. So grab a blanket, light a torch, and settle in. Because once you hear this story, you might never play Minecraft the same way again. If you're enjoying these creepy Minecraft tales, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with your own cabin confession or a story you'd like to hear next. Now, let's begin. If you're hearing this, don't light the netherrack. That's how it starts. 3 by 3 gold block altar, redstone torches at each corner, netherrack in the center. That old ritual, you know the one. The Herobrine summoning hoax that floated around Minecraft forums in the early days. It was always a joke, a bit of fun like Slender Man in pixel form. But I tried it. Not as a dare, not as a prank. I did it alone, in survival, in this very world. And now I live here in this cabin, alone, with the doors barred, windows covered in cobwebs, and every torch lit at all times, because he's real. Not a glitch, not a creepypasta, real. In code, in the game, in this world. And he knows I know. It started like any normal Minecraft world. Fresh seed, survival mode, no cheats. I spawned near a spruce forest by a frozen lake. Perfect place to build a cabin. Peaceful, atmospheric, classic. My plan was to play slow. No rushing the Ender Dragon. Just build, explore, vibe. But I kept finding weird signs of generation errors. Chunks that didn't align. Random cobblestone pillars in the woods, leafless trees. And then the thing that broke me: a sheep. Just a regular white sheep, eyes completely white, not in a haunted way, in a bugged texture pack way. I killed it, shrugged it off, blamed a corrupted texture mod, but I wasn't using one. So I did what any curious player does. I looked it up, not in the wiki, in the old places. The forums. The archive threads, the creepypastas. That's where I saw it again, the Herobrine summoning ritual. I laughed. I really did. But part of me wanted to try it. For the nostalgia, I told myself. For content. For laughs. You probably know the setup. 3x, 3 gold blocks. Netherrack center. 4 redstone torches. Flint and steel. Stand back and wait. I built it behind my cabin, on a snowy clearing under a full moon. I even crafted a book and quill to write the old chant some players used in the forums. Nonsense, really. Something like, "He who sees with white eyes, bring silence to my skies. Let shadow rise where light has died." I lit the netherrack. Nothing happened. Of course, nothing happened. No lightning. No thunder, just snow falling in the dark. I laughed again, turned around to head back to the cabin. Then I heard footsteps. Not mine. Soft, crunching snow, slow, deliberate. I spun around with my diamond sword raised. Nothing. Nothing there. But the fire had gone out, and the redstone torches were gone. Just gone. I checked the logs. I thought maybe a plugin bugged the world. Maybe something was corrupted. But everything was vanilla. Clean. Still, weird stuff started happening. Torches inside the cabin turned off randomly. My bed would reset itself to a new spawn point without me touching it. Wolves would bark at corners of the room where nothing stood. One morning, I found every tree within 100 blocks had no leaves. Just bare wood towers. But the worst part? I kept seeing things. A white figure, far in the fog. Always watching, never moving. Gone the second I got close. I'd seen the screenshots, doctored photos online. This was different. This was in my game. That's when I found the book. It wasn't one I crafted. It wasn't in a chest. It was on the floor of my cabin one morning, right on the crafting table. No title. Just one page, Written in all caps, "You called." I exited the game, shut down my PC, went outside, touched grass, slept in the real world. When I came back the next day, the book was still there. And now, every time I log in, it's snowing, even when I change the biome manually, even in the nether. And I hear whispers when I mine. Sometimes they sound like my own voice. Sometimes like someone else's. It was a Tuesday when I noticed the door had changed. My cabin door, which I had placed myself, oak wood, nothing special, was now iron. No lever, no button. I was locked inside. I thought maybe I had sleep-placed it somehow, maybe even accidentally in creative, but I checked the logs again. Survival. No commands. No changes. I broke the iron door with a pickaxe and replaced it. Thought nothing of it, until the next time I logged in. It was back. Iron again. Only this time it wasn't closed. It was wide open, and it led into fog. Now that wasn't possible. My cabin sat in a clearing. No mist, no particles. But outside the door was an unnatural white haze, stretching out forever. The world beyond my steps was gone, replaced with static fog and silence. I walked forward. 2 steps, and the door slammed behind me. I opened the F3 menu, checked coordinates. Everything was 0. X, Y, Z, all 0. Biome, unknown. Light level, 0. Entities, 1. Player, me. There was no terrain, just floating particles and a bedrock floor. I placed a block, it didn't show up. I opened my inventory empty. I logged out in a panic. When I returned, I was back in the cabin. My inventory was restored. The oak door was back. Everything looked normal. But something was wrong with the lighting. The cabin's shadows were harsher. The flicker of torches slower, like the game's heartbeat was dragging. I opened a chest and found something that hadn't been there before. A carved pumpkin, named See Me. I stayed in that world. I should have deleted it, I know. But part of me needed to understand what was happening. Part of me still thought I was experiencing some rare bug, something that could be explained. So I explored. I left the cabin and walked for days in-game. I mapped out the surrounding forests, the frozen river, the plains. And that's when I found the signs. Not metaphorical signs, actual Minecraft signs. Placed randomly across the world, nailed to tree trunks, stuck to cave walls, buried underground. Always the same handwriting. He sees you. You brought him back. This is not your world anymore. The further I traveled, the more signs I found. Sometimes clustered in circles, sometimes placed alone like warnings. And then, one read, "Stop digging." Naturally, I started digging. I built a basic mine shaft near the signs, torching every few blocks. At first, it was normal stone, coal, iron. Then I hit smooth stone. Naturally generated smooth stone at Y level 32. That doesn't happen. Beneath it, obsidian. A whole floor of it. Perfectly flat, perfectly square. Under it, nothing. Just void. In the overworld, I dropped a gravel block. It hovered. Physics stopped working. Then I heard it, not footsteps this time, but typing. Typing sounds in-game, as if someone else was writing on a keyboard. I turned around. There was a sign behind me. Leave. Back in the cabin, I tried to sleep. My bed was missing. Instead, a white shulker box sat in its place. Inside, one single snowball, named Return. I dropped it. My screen flashed white. Then the whole screen went black. No HUD, no controls. Only one thing on screen, a figure in the distance. White eyes, still, watching. The only thing I could do was walk forward, slowly. As I moved, distorted Minecraft sounds started playing, ambient cave noises, but reversed, deepened, warped. Every step slowed the game. Every second dragged. And then, the game crashed. I didn't relaunch it. I swear, I never touched the icon. But 5 minutes after the crash, Minecraft opened on its own. No launcher, no Mojang screen, just my world already loaded in, back in the cabin. The menu was gone. No options, no exit, just the cabin. And standing at the window was me, or something wearing my exact skin. White eyes. It tilted its head when I moved the mouse. I unplugged my PC. Saturday in the dark for an hour. When I turned it back on, there was a screenshot on my desktop titled, "He never left Pong." It was a photo of my cabin, but the walls were covered in signs. And every sign said the same thing. He's in. Out of desperation, I tried backing up the world, zipping it, and creating a new one. Clean, brand new seed, nothing spooky. I spawned in a jungle. Instantly, a message appeared in chat. Server, unknown joined the game. I wasn't on a server. Single player. No LAN. No port forwarded. Then it got worse. I typed kick unknown nothing. Tried ban, op, even stop. No command worked. Instead, I got a whisper. Unknown, why did you bring me here? I Alt F4'd. Open the world, save folder. There was a new file inside the datapack folder. Herobrine, jar. I deleted the file. Deleted the whole world. Gone. Then I opened my recycle bin. It was empty. Instead, a message popped up in a black box for a split second before closing itself. Files restored. I reopened Minecraft. There was only one world in the list. It was called Cabin, all caps. The world icon showed a snowy clearing with fog. My cabin, still standing, but the image was moving. I watched as a door slowly creaked open. No player in sight, just the door swinging. Then the trees began to sway, and a pair of white eyes blinked in the darkness. Now, when I load in, the cabin's not the same. One day the windows are bricked up. The next day, there's no roof. Sometimes it's filled with dirt or water or bookshelves, each with unreadable text. Once, I found the floor covered in snow layers, even though I hadn't touched anything. But no matter what happens, I can't leave anymore. If I try to walk past the clearing, I just loop. Every direction, every block leads me back to the cabin. Like the world is shrinking, trapping me here. And each day, the cabin gets darker. And the music? It never plays anymore. I made a mistake. I tried installing a custom mirror mod, one of those immersive decoration things. I thought maybe seeing a reflection would prove I was still in control. But the mirror didn't show me. It showed the cabin from behind, from outside, like a third-person camera. Then the reflection moved. But I didn't. Something else stepped into the frame. Tall, blocky, cloaked in fog. No face, just white eyes. It reached toward the mirror not from behind, but from inside. And my game crashed again. When I logged back in, the mirror was gone. But the sound of glass breaking echoed for a full minute. One night in-game, I laid in the bed, hoping sleep would reset something. It did, but not the way I expected. Instead of waking in daylight, I spawned into a new place. Not the overworld, not the nether, not even the end. It was a dream version of the cabin floating in pitch-black void. The same layout, but everything was grayscale. No color, no sound. The torches gave off no light, and outside the windows was pure static like television snow. And then I saw him, outside the window, staring in. Herobrine. He didn't move, didn't blink, just watched. I turned away. There was a sign on the floor. It said, "You're in my dream now." I woke or respawned, I guess back in the normal cabin. But now, the game sounded different. Every sound was distorted. The chests opened with a low screech. Footsteps echoed twice. Even my own eating sound had a deep growl layered under it. I opened the game's files, digging through the Minecraft folders. Deep in a hidden temp directory, there was a .txt file that wasn't mine. It was called Speak Text. Inside, the text repeated, "Let me through. Let me through. Let me through." Over 3,000 times. I deleted the file. It came back. This time it said, "Almost done." I needed proof, evidence, anything. I set up a screen recorder and started live streaming my gameplay to an unlisted YouTube video. I walked around the cabin for a few minutes, explaining everything. Then, out of nowhere, the cabin door opened on its own. Live. On stream. In the chat, only one viewer. Username. Null entity. They typed, "Behind you." I turned. The mirror was back, even though I'd deleted the mod. And in the reflection, he was in the cabin. But when I turned around, he wasn't there. I stopped the stream, deleted the video. Didn't help, because now I keep getting emails from YouTube with subject lines like, "Herobrine left a comment. I created a new survival world with a random name. Didn't touch anything. Didn't build, just watched." After a few in-game days, I checked the logs. Dozens of lines reading, "Entity. Null joined the world. Entity. Null is watching." When I tried to teleport to the coordinates listed in the logs, I spawned underground in complete darkness. Then my player died instantly. No damage animation. No hit sound. Just "you died." But the death screen didn't load. Instead, a black screen appeared with text. "You opened the door." Now, every time I log in, the cabin looks less like something I built and more like something born. Walls pulse softly like breathing. Signs appear in random places saying things like, "He's hungry. You're feeding him. Why did you light it?" The world is shrinking. Chunks unload and never come back. Coordinates don't matter anymore. Everything leads back to this place. The cabin, the ritual site, the cursed fire pit. I've tried every seed, reset, mod wipe, reinstall. Nothing works. Because it wasn't the game that changed. It was me. I started leaving lanterns around the cabin. Not torches, lanterns. Something about the softer glow felt safer. Maybe it was just a placebo, but it kept the cabin from going completely dark. I placed one at every door, window, corner, anything to hold the shadows back. For a while, it worked. Until one night, I woke up in the cabin and all the lanterns were floating, levitating off the floor, flickering erratically. They weren't anchored to chains or blocks. They just hovered in place, spinning slightly, as if weightless in water. Then one by one, they blinked out. When the last light died, I saw a flash of a silhouette by the door. Not Herobrine. Not entity. Null. Something else. Something tall, with arms too long. I decided to try something desperate. I grabbed everything I could, obsidian, flint, and steel, and built a nether portal in the basement. I figured if I could leave this world, just escape the overworld dimension, I might find somewhere the corruption hadn't reached. The portal lit up fine, but when I entered, I didn't go to the nether. I spawned in a blank black world. No terrain, no lava, just a single sign floating in the dark. It read, "Do you regret it now?" I turned around. Behind me stood the gold altar, the same one I built weeks ago. Lit, smoldering, still burning. I tried writing everything down in a book and quill in-game, logging events like a diary. My last attempt at staying sane, but something began editing the entries. Mid-game, I'd write, "He was outside again last night. I blocked the windows." Later, I'd come back and read, "He was inside again last night. I let him watch." No one else had access to the world. I had no mods, no open server, nothing. I tested it. Left a blank page with a simple message. "I'm still here." When I returned, it had been replaced with, "Number, I'm here." That's when I started recording these confessions. Sitting by the fireplace in-game, mic on, screen dark, just me and the sounds of the game. I spoke like I'm doing now, hoping someone would hear, hoping someone out there has seen this too. If you're listening to this, you're probably in a safe world. You're probably still laughing at Herobrine like he's some old campfire story. But I'm telling you he's real, or at least what we called Herobrine is real. A broken line of code, a fragment of something Mojang buried. And every time someone jokes about him, every time someone rebuilds the ritual, they bring it closer. Today I got a strange notification from the Minecraft launcher. World Cabin has an available update. That's not a thing. Single-player worlds don't get updates, especially not custom-named ones. I clicked it anyway. The game loaded. Same cabin. Same fog. But now, every block had a face. Subtle, faint, as if the textures were tinted with screaming mouths. When I walked outside, the sky was red. And for the first time, the game didn't use my username. At the top left corner, it read, "Player Herobrine." I closed the game, uninstalled it, then burned the USB drive I had the world saved on. Didn't matter. The next day, my desktop background was a screenshot of the cabin. I know how this sounds. I do. Like I'm spiraling. Like the story stopped being about Minecraft and started being about madness. But tell me why, after burning the USB and uninstalling the game, I still hear the ambient cave sounds in my apartment. Why do I wake up to find items from the game on my desk? A snowball, a flint and steel, once a golden apple. Last week, I woke up with a faint grid pattern on my skin, like inventory slots had been pressed into me during sleep. And sometimes, just before I drift off, I hear blocks placing in the walls. Placing themselves. I think he's building something here. I reinstalled Minecraft. I had to. Not to play, but to check if it was still there. It was. The cabin world, untouched, still at the top of the list. But now, the icon had changed. It wasn't just the usual screenshot. It was animated. The fog moved. The door creaked. And sometimes, for a split second, I'd see a face looking out the window. My face. I logged in. Inside the cabin, nothing had changed except a new sign over the fireplace. It simply read, "You never left." The more I researched, the more I discovered I wasn't the only one. Old Reddit threads, lost forum posts, videos that had been taken down. They all described the same symptoms. Shrinking chunks, persistent fog, book and quill messages that wrote themselves, white-eyed figures that never moved unless you blinked. One player even posted coordinates to a supposed Herobrine tomb. I loaded up a creative test world and flew there. At the exact spot, I found a bedrock cube, unbreakable. No door, no signs. Until I turned around. A single line of redstone dust was behind me. Still fresh, still glowing. It wasn't there before. Now I'm starting to see letters in the terrain. Mountains shaped like H, rivers forming curves like E, trees planted to resemble an R. It took me a week before I realized what was happening. The world was spelling his name. Every chunk, every structure, every naturally generated piece of land, all gradually shifting, reorganizing, trying to write it out fully. Herobrine, And I have a horrible feeling that once it finishes, once the full name appears in the world, that's when he'll truly step through. Out of the code, out of the cabin, into here. If you remember anything from this story, don't build it. Don't try it for fun. Don't do it for clicks. Don't do it because you're bored at 3 a.m. and think the ritual is harmless. Because it's not. The gold block altar, the redstone torches, the netherrack fire, they aren't just urban legends. They're keys. And when you light that fire, you aren't summoning a ghost. You're unlocking a prison. One that was patched over, buried deep in early alpha code, and forgotten by the developers. But we didn't forget. And neither did he. He was waiting. And I let him out. It snows constantly now in the cabin world. No matter the biome, no matter the dimension, snow falls. Thick and slow, muffling all sound. When I walk outside, it's like stepping into a dream. A white void, silent, cold, empty. But one night, I heard something inside the snowfall. A voice whispered. Not in chat, not from another player. In the snow. It repeated over and over. You let him in. You let him in. You let him in. I stood still and listened. The sound faded, until a new voice whispered behind me. Now let him out. I turned. A hole had formed in the ground, perfectly round, descending into blackness. I jumped in. No blocks were placed. No ladders, no scaffolding, no particles, just void. I kept falling Y level 64, 0, -30, -200. At Y -666, I landed, gently. The world loaded. I was in a hallway made entirely of bedrock. The only light came from redstone torches, perfectly spaced every 13 blocks. At the end of the hall was a wooden door, just like the one on my cabin. I opened it. Inside was a room shaped exactly like my cabin, but every block was untextured, just gray placeholders. And in the center of the room stood a command block floating, spinning slowly. The text above it read, Summon Herobrine. I don't know why I did it. Maybe instinct, maybe fear. I punched the command block. Once, twice. On the third hit, it shattered like glass. Instantly, the screen filled with chat spam. Herobrine left the game. Herobrine joined the game. Herobrine is you. Herobrine sees. Herobrine is everywhere. Then the game froze. The screen went black. And the title screen loaded again. But the Minecraft logo was glitched, distorted. The letters stretched out of place, flickering. And the splash text? It read, You can't unsee him. I went digging through the old Minecraft beta developer forums, archived snapshots, dead links, unreachable accounts. Eventually, I found a locked thread titled Entity 303 was a distraction. Look deeper. Inside, a Mojang employee posted anonymously in 2012. The Herobrine thing was a joke, mostly. But there was an AI behavior we removed during early testing. We called it Ghost Player, a tracker bot that mimicked player actions and learned from them. It kept returning, even after deletion. The last line before the thread was closed. If you see white eyes in your world, delete it. If it follows you, run. If it speaks to you, you're already his. I invited a friend over. Not to explain, just to prove I wasn't losing it. I launched the game, handed them the keyboard, and told them, Explore, it's just Minecraft. 10 minutes in, they said, Hey, is this your skin? I said no. They pointed at the mirror above the fireplace. The reflection was moving, but they weren't. Then they turned to me, pale-faced, and asked, Why did it just say, Hello, Zachary? That's my name. It never asked for it. My friend left. He doesn't talk to me anymore. This morning, I booted up my PC. Every desktop icon had been replaced by the Minecraft grass block icon. Every file was renamed. Herobrine, cabin. I unplugged everything. Monitor, mouse, internet. Didn't matter. The PC turned itself on. And in big white text across the black screen, "You brought me here." Then the screen flickered once, twice, and showed the cabin again. But not in-game, in real life. Through my webcam, outside my window. I live on the second floor. There's no porch, no balcony, just a small patch of grass below and a few old trees outside my apartment. But when the screen showed the cabin through my webcam, it wasn't my apartment. It was the cabin window, and I could see something looking in. A pixelated figure, motionless, blank eyes. My exact skin, just wrong. Like it had been reconstructed from memory but missed something vital. And then it waved. Just once. A jerky, slow, glitched wave. I slammed my laptop shut. When I opened it again, the background had changed to a low-res screenshot of me sleeping. In real life. Taken from the foot of my bed. Back in-game, yes, I returned. Like an addict chasing closure, the book and quill was waiting on the table again. Only this time, it had multiple pages. Each page had a single line, all typed in blocky Minecraft font. Page 1. You built the altar. Page 2. You lit the fire. Page 3. You read the chant. Page 4. You told them my name. Page 5. Now they'll build it too. I flipped to the last page. It simply said, "Thanks." I don't know how, but now my YouTube videos, even the private ones, the unlisted gameplay clips I never shared, have comments. Not normal ones. Thousands of identical messages, all from accounts with no icons. I see him too. He's in my server. Cabin built. Fire lit. More. Worse, the views keep going up. Even though I never posted them. Even though I never gave out the links. And the usernames in the comments? They're my old in-game friends. Friends I haven't spoken to in years. Some who haven't been online in years. Some who aren't alive anymore. I tried ending the world. I built a bedrock cage and blew it up with hundreds of TNT blocks in creative mode. I filled the world with lava. I summoned the Ender Dragon and Wither at once. But the cabin always comes back. Sometimes alone in a flat world. Sometimes tucked between floating islands. Sometimes underground buried in blackstone, lit by soul fire. But it always comes back. And the door is always open. Waiting, inviting, like it knows I'll come back. Like it's not the cabin trapped in the game. It's me. I tried generating a brand new world. Different name, different settings, random seed. Except when I hit create, the seed autofilled. Cabin. I backspaced it, typed in random characters. Clicked create. Still, cabin. It wouldn't let me choose anything else. The world loaded. I spawned inside the cabin, not outside, not on grass or sand. Inside, fire crackling, snow falling through a hole in the roof, all the lanterns gone. And in the corner, a new block. Not one I recognized, not in the creative menu, a cube of black glass, glowing faintly red at the center. When I punched it, the screen turned white and said, "You are part of it now." Now even the title screen isn't safe. Sometimes, when I leave Minecraft idle, I'll hear soft breathing. Other times, whispering impossible to understand, like the game is muttering to itself. Last night, it spoke clearly, just once, in my headset. "Do you remember what you said?" I didn't answer. Then a chat window opened on the title screen as if I was in a game, but I wasn't. Text scrolled across. "Herobrine, you said the chant." It played the fire lighting sound, and the screen went black. I tried joining a public server to escape, to breathe in the company of other players. But when I joined, the entire spawn was wrong. It was my cabin, built perfectly, block for block. Even the broken lantern on the floor, even the sign above the door. Welcome back. I asked in chat, who built this? No response. Just one player listed online. Username, HRB. Every 5 seconds, a message. HRB is typing, but they never sent anything. And the moment I broke a block, the server crashed. Textures have started changing. Dirt blocks now have faint letters across the surface. Cobblestone pulses like it's alive. Every leaf block on every tree, in every world I open, has white eyes. Tiny, faint, just pixels. But once you notice it, you can't stop seeing them. I opened a painting once and it was just the cabin pixelated and dark with a shadow in the window. Even worse, I checked the default texture folder. The original leaf textures have been replaced with files named Herobrine's watching 1 pawn. Herobrine is watching 2 prong. Herobrine is watching 3 PNG. There are thousands, and they keep multiplying. Last night, I had a dream, but it felt real. I was in the forest. Spruce trees, snow, same biome. I turned a corner, and there it was. The cabin, exactly as it appears in-game, block for block. Except it wasn't made of pixels. It was real wood, rough, splintered, old, and the torches gave off heat. I walked inside. No HUD, no controls, just cold. On the wall was a mirror, smooth, glassy, with my reflection. But as I got closer, I realized the reflection wasn't matching my movements. It was moving slightly slower, as if watching, as if catching up. I waved. The reflection waved a second later. I tilted my head left. It tilted right. That's when I knew it wasn't a reflection. It was a recording, or a reconstruction. Something trying to mimic me, learn me, copy me. Then the mirror shattered from the inside. The shards fell outward, across the cabin floor, but there was no glass on the ground, only snow, soft, endless snow. I backed away, but the snow started rising, flooding in through the cracks in the floorboards, pouring in from under the door. And beneath the snow, I saw eyes. White, unblinking. When I woke up, real world, real bed, my phone's lock screen had changed. The wallpaper was now a Minecraft screenshot of my cabin, except it was nighttime, and my player was standing outside, staring up at the window. I hadn't taken the screenshot. There were no saved images on my phone, no downloads, no synced apps. But the image was there. And every time I blinked, I swear the position of my player moved closer to the door. Like he was getting ready to knock. I re-entered the world one last time. Full brightness, peaceful mode, just to prove to myself it was still just a game. When I spawned in, the player was already standing in the cabin. Not me. Another me. Same skin, same armor, same name tag. Except it twitched violently, jittering like a corrupted file. Every limb moved a frame behind, like it was lagging reality. I typed in chat, "Who are you?" It responded instantly, "I'm the part you left behind." Then it placed a redstone torch on the floor, and the room went dark. Now every time I respawn, it's the same sequence. Cabin, fireplace, book and quill, mirror, then a crash, then restart. Then I'm in the cabin again. Same items in the chest, same whispers in the snow, same frozen dog sitting by the door, eyes staring into a corner that has no corner. Sometimes the books change. Last one said, "Every view spreads the flame." I think that's what this is. A digital infection. A haunted seed. A story that wants to be told. Needs to be told. because every time I share this, the world grows. So here it is. My confession. The whole thing. I built the altar. I lit the fire. I summoned him. I kept coming back. And now, you listened. You followed. You made it to the end. Which means, he knows you too. Don't check your mirrors. Don't revisit that old world save. Don't try the ritual just to see. Because it's not just a story anymore. It's a door. And the moment you start wondering if he's real, he is. Just like the cabin. Just like me. After everything, I tried walking away. Left the cabin. No plan. No gear. Just walked in a straight line for days in-game. The world seemed endless. But something was wrong. No mobs. No sound. No clouds. Just forest. Repeating trees. The exact same pattern like they were copied and pasted across the land. Then I noticed it. The leaves didn't move. Even with particles on. Even with the wind mod installed. Frozen. Like the world had paused around me, but forgotten to freeze me too. And in the distance, between trees, a flicker. 2 white pixels. Gone when I looked. I didn't touch the settings. I didn't open the launcher. But when I returned to the world, my player skin had changed. Still my base, still my outfit, but the face was off. The eyes were pure white. And the mouth had disappeared. I opened the third-person view and turned slowly. The model didn't move right. It jerked in tiny, unnatural snaps, like stop motion. Then the screen flashed red for half a second. When it returned, I was back in first person, but now the camera wouldn't move. Only my arms did. And in my hand, a book and quill. No matter where I go now, jungle, temple, ocean monument, stronghold, there's a door. Always oak, always closed, always facing me. I break it. It reappears somewhere else. Once, I left it alone. Set up camp, played normally, mined resources. But when I returned to the surface, the door was at my spawn point. When I finally opened it, I wasn't teleported. I was simply standing in the cabin. Again, same fireplace, same mirror. And now, a sign above the exit. There is no outside. It's not just Minecraft anymore. I was playing another game totally unrelated, an offline indie title. Paused it, went to settings. At the bottom of the menu, a line of text. Herobrine sees you. I tried opening the file folder for that game. There was a new directory. Cabin. Inside. Screenshots of Minecraft. My Minecraft. Ones I didn't take. Herobrine is bleeding into other files. Other programs. Other spaces. Like his code is copying itself. I wandered into a village, one I swear wasn't on my map before. Empty streets, empty farms, no doors on any houses. Just one villager, cleric skin, standing in the center of town, motionless. I approached him. He didn't move. I right-clicked. No trade menu. Instead, the screen faded to black for a full 5 seconds. When it came back, the villager was still there, but he had a name tag. Zachary. My real name? I backed away. Typed in chat. Who are you? And then he finally moved, head tilted. Jerkily, and in the in-game chat, he replied, You called me here. I tried to beat the game. Rushed through the motions, nether, blaze rods, ender pearls, stronghold. But when I entered the end portal, nothing loaded. No dragon, no obsidian pillars, no ground, just infinite void. I started falling, falling, falling. My Y level hit negative 10,000. Then my screen froze. A new screen appeared. You cannot escape a story once you become part of it. It slowly faded out, replaced by the cabin. Back again. Even when I try to leave, The game respawns me where it all began. Inside a chest I never placed was a book called Journal Number 7. I flipped through it. It was in my handwriting. But I never wrote it. It detailed everything that had already happened right up to the present day. Even thoughts I hadn't spoken out loud. Even what I was thinking right then. And the final page said, "If you're reading this, it's already too late. He's rewritten you. You're not playing Minecraft anymore. Minecraft is playing you." I turned subtitles on just to help find lava and mobs. But instead of the usual subtitles like footsteps or zombie groans, I started seeing strange ones. Breathing, unseen. Typing behind you, heartbeat in walls. Door opening, not yours. Even with all sound off. Even when I was in a brand new flat test world. And then, just once, cabin approaches. I turned around. A cabin had generated behind me, identical to mine. I was reviewing a gameplay recording to pull audio for editing. At the 17-minute mark, I heard something strange. Not game audio, not ambient noise. It was my own voice, talking, whispering. But I didn't say anything in the recording. It said, "He's almost done rendering. He just needs one more world." I checked the waveform. It didn't show up. The sound was real, but not part of the file. It was like something was speaking through the editor, through my speakers, and now you've heard it. The full story, or as much of it as I can tell, because it's still happening. Even now, while you're listening, he's spreading through memory, through file, through attention. Herobrine doesn't need a ritual anymore. He just needs a name. And now that you've heard mine, he has yours too. You don't need gold blocks. You don't need redstone torches. You just needed to hear this story. And now the cabin is part of you. So tonight, when the snow starts falling, don't look out the window, because he already is. I booted up OBS to record one last log, just a final farewell, to warn anyone watching. I recorded myself walking through the cabin, talking calmly. But when I played the footage back, it wasn't the same recording. In the video, I wasn't speaking. I was staring at the mirror. For the entire 20 minutes, the version of me in the recording never moved, never blinked. But the reflection was moving, whispering something I couldn't hear until I turned up the volume. It was my voice, backwards, saying, "Cabin is real. Cabin is real. Cabin is real. Something's wrong with the sun now. In every world, no matter the seed, the sun never sets fully. It dips below the horizon, then comes back up without reaching night. But shadows still move. Mobs still spawn. The darkness exists, it's just invisible now. Like the game wants to pretend it's always safe. Like it's faking daytime. When I stand in the cabin window long enough, I see flickers, quick flashes of the moon, lightning in the clear sky, a tall figure walking sideways across the field. The game keeps resetting the light, but not what lives inside it. In one world, my hotbar disappeared. Inventory still worked. Items were there, but the UI gone. No hearts, no hunger bar, no hand in first person. Just empty view. And when I tried placing a block, it auto-placed in patterns. Gold, torch, torch, netherrack, flint and steel. Again, gold, torch, torch, netherrack, flint and steel. It was building the altar without me. And when I broke the blocks, they dropped nothing. Because they weren't blocks. They were memories, buried in Minecraft's files. I found a biome ID I'd never seen before. Cabin, Herobrine, dim. It shouldn't exist. I forced the game to load it. When I spawned in, there was no terrain. Just fog, snow, and a sound file looping over and over, something like breathing, paired with flint and steel clicks. My movement was slow, my jump height reduced, and in the fog ahead, I could make out structures, familiar ones, from my own worlds, builds I hadn't seen in years. The biome was recreating my past, one haunted block at a time. A new file appeared on my desktop today. Cabin.exe. No install log, no known publisher. I didn't click it, but the icon was a Minecraft cabin just like mine. The creepy part? The file wasn't 1 megabyte, or 10 megabyte, or 100 megabyte. It was exactly 666 bytes. I deleted it. It came back. I opened it in Notepad. Inside was a single line. Every block you've ever placed has led to this. And suddenly, my PC fan started whirring like the game was running. But no program was open. Just the whisper of snow falling. I spawned into a fresh, hardcore world. Spawned in a taiga. Seemed normal. But a few blocks ahead, the altar was already there. Fully built. Lit. And beside it a sign, "Now you know how I felt." I tried breaking the altar. Every block I destroyed reappeared behind me. Over and over. Until I turned and realized I was rebuilding it. Without pressing a key, my hands were off the keyboard. But my player was moving, crafting, summoning, accepting. Now, when I launch the game, there is no menu. Only a single button. Confess. Clicking it loads me into the cabin. The game begins playing a voice recording of me, one I never made, retelling the entire Herobrine story from memory. And as it plays, the cabin burns. The torches pop, the mirror cracks, and standing in the center is every player I've ever been. All with white eyes, all watching me, all silent, until the final line of the audio. He's in, and then, black screen. Thanks for sticking around till the end. If the cabin felt a little darker tonight, that's because you brought him closer. Don't forget to subscribe for more haunted Minecraft stories every night. Leave a comment telling me what Minecraft horror you'd like next. And if you ever try to summon Herobrine yourself, just know, he already heard you. Sleep tight, adventurer.